the industry, digital, and space community of practice, bringing together EIC portfolio companies and expert practitioners across Europe's most strategic technology areas.
So my name is Oliver Hasse, and I'm from the Innovation Network for Advanced Materials. The name already indicates that we're very close to industry. Advanced materials are usually inputs into many complex products, some of which we are also looking at today. Brackets open, for instance, batteries or computer chips. And as such, we are working at the intersection of innovators and the corporate world, experts, and of course, investors to be able to facilitate and support startups in this space to grow and be successful in the market. We've been doing that for almost 10 years. In the first session of today, we are actually looking at 3 very important and high priority technology areas for Europe, but also globally. One is storage of electricity, i.e. batteries. Another one is computing. Equally important, AI is everywhere these days. And finally, of course, we're also touching upon the topic of space tech.
At the moment, we are very much in the trenches when it comes to battery technologies, working with Skeleton Technologies. We've just got them an 80 million grant, as well as Basketvolt and Geyser batteries that have just won the EIC Accelerator. The battery space is one that is particularly alarming, and that's primarily because we've seen some very big bets not work out as well as we would have liked. From every number of funding programs on the European level, batteries are a very hot topic.
I'm initially going to talk about the Critical Raw Material Act, and you could say, well, look, that's so far away from startups. It is, in the sense that it's directed at macro issues around critical raw materials and availability. And then the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, which increasingly is going to impact on SMEs. And I want to provide a background in terms of that.
The Portfolio Days also ran practical workshops on the operational challenges deep tech companies face.
IP can be used as an asset to generate new or additional IP. In other words, you offer your IP to other third parties, hoping that the joint efforts of your company and the other company might end up in a joint IP that might be successful on the market. However, to be successful, you should observe some contractual particularities. And the first one is that you should never communicate your IP without the conclusion of a non-disclosure agreement or a material transfer agreement. Then there should be a letter of intent, a term sheet, or a memorandum of understanding. And last but not least, there should be the main contract addressing properly the research development activities.
There's still quite a number of players around in Germany and Europe that focus on parts of the recycling process, be that the chemical recycling at the very end or the dismantling and let's call it more mechanical recycling. So Teresa, just drop me a line and I'll get you some interesting startups.
We located, so this is the headquarters of SAIS, and especially that central part in which you see Red Zone at SAIS Research Lab. Those are about 3,300 square meters of laboratories which are open and to be shared with the startups. Just some images to catch your attention a little more with some numbers as well. So there are mandatory people working in the laboratories, so PhDs, researchers, technicians, with 5 scale-up pilot plants, which are the same pilot plants that SAIS has been using for its history, recent history, obviously, to test what has been developed within the laboratories on the industrial scale.
At Flex, we hope to provide some solutions to these. So first of all, our goal is to use sustainable electronics, in particular organics. We're developing a new type of computing paradigm based on probabilistic computing that allows us to perform classifications on chip that are explainable. The calculations on chip will help us improve the privacy.
The Industry Community of Practice is part of EIC Communities, an EU-funded project connecting deep tech portfolio companies with expert practitioners. Delivered by project partners APRE, ICONS, EURA, and EBN, with expert contributions from EU BIC members such as ENOM Berlin.